All right, I'm with the Hell's Kitchen Season 1 winner, Michael Wray, and we're just here to just talk with you guys about his Hell's Kitchen experience and where he's at now. So,
Solve the mystery.
yeah, we'll solve the mystery. So, all right, Michael, how was your Hell's Kitchen experience? And if you can explain it to us.
It's the Hell's Kitchen experience is a surreal experience. Um, you don't realize it at the time, but you're going to be on a show that's like shown on, nationally, and like at the time, one of my fears was obviously I don't want to I don't want to lose on national TV.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pressure on me, and so, having like had that pressure on myself, come through the other side as a winner, like Hell's Kitchen has just like, it's given me an underlying confidence really in what I do. It hasn't made me a better chef or anything like that, but it kind of like just gives you a little something extra that it pushes me to work just a little extra harder to like keep proving that I deserve to have that, like hold that title,
I like that.
for sure.
All right, so as far as the winnings go, what did you win when you won Hell's Kitchen?
When I won Hell's Kitchen, they were very generous. I've heard on a few different sources saying that I didn't win anything, but I definitely won. I won. They handed me a check for $250,000, which is nice, very nice. I mean, it was cool winning Hell's Kitchen. It was cool to win the money as it was to win Hell's Kitchen. It was really cool to like actually win something. Just I don't know. It was really cool. But then I also part of the choice of because I had a choice of prizes. I had the first choice would be to go over to London, train under Gordon Ramsay for a year. And then from there, if I was as great as he thought I was, or if I was, followed through, then, there could be some possibilities for investment and whatnot. But it was a big move at the time. I wasn't alone. I was married at the time, trying to start a family. And the other choice was a check for $250,000 and all the restaurant equipment on the show. I mean, every saute pan, every stove, it was all mine. It was awesome. And when I won it, I swear I spent like at least a good like 5 and 6 hours just like running on top of everything like, in the warehouse, just like it's all mine, and like opening every box I could open. Like
That's awesome.
I had like cases of microplaners at home. Like it was like it was really cool time. Like I feel like a lot of it got wasted, but a lot of it was like it was worth it just to like experience some of the stuff I got to experience from winning Hell's Kitchen.
And right after Hell's Kitchen, after you won, you were seen to be working at a restaurant called Tattoo. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, Tattoo was like the first project I did after winning Hell's Kitchen. Because after I won, it was almost a year before, 8 months, 9 months to a year, I think, before I could even tell anybody. From when I won to when first air episode, the production time, I had to wait that entire time, not saying anything to anybody, which was really crazy. What was the original question?
What was the one? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot. What was
I
like
went off
one
on
of
a
the first
tangent.
things you did when you won Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, with
You were
Tattoo.
in
Oh, we were talking about
Yes,
Tattoo. Yes. So Tattoo, I was approached by some investors. They were going to open up. Tattoo was in the old Glam Slam building in downtown Los Angeles. It was Prince's old building. He had an old club in the like late 80s, 90s, I believe, in downtown LA. It was a really cool space. I would have the upstairs area, and downstairs would be a club. We'd supply food for down there, and it was an amazing experience just to be able to design the kitchen. I got to design my dream kitchen that I always thought would be the perfect functioning kitchen. It was a really dream restaurant, or it was a really dream situation for me. My ex-wife at the time was pregnant, and we had our kid, a little bit before Tattoo opened, and we lost our child, and
Oh man.
yeah, I was not able to bounce back out of that mentally. I just wasn't able to follow through my promises with Tattoo, and so, I mean, it was unfortunate. We were able to open, and I was able to do a month or two, but then I had to drop out of it, and life took some crazy courses for me at the time.
Yeah, and with you being able to be at Tattoo for about 2 months, how did your son's death impact you, and how,
Oh, okay.
and
Well,
how
yeah,
did
well,
it turn the course of your life?
Well, up until that point, I had a dependency on pain medication for
Okay.
a surgery that I had for scoliosis when I was 18.
Alrighty.
And so, having lose my daughter the way I did, and it pushed me over to really bad abuse. I was already on the edge of abusing drugs, and you know, my life wasn't very stable at the time. You know, and a lot of that had to do with winning Hell's Kitchen. Just, you know, it was just the people that I was surrounded around. It was a lifestyle. It was having an ATM card with a ton of money on it.
Yeah.
I made a bunch of bad, you know, I made some bad decisions, and you know, ultimately, you know, it pushed me down on a path where I stepped down from being a chef. You know, I've never stopped cooking. I'm training right now to become the world's most ninja line cook. Nobody's faster or efficient or happier when they cook than I do. Okay, but I had to step down from being a chef because you can't have an addiction. Like when you're a chef, like half the time the kitchen comes before your family. You know, you need to be there, and like you're just a problem solver. And when you have a big problem already on your back, you know, so I sort of I actually dropped out of like normal society, if you will. I started like sort of like finding little holes to sleep in at night, and I would cook during the day. I would have a normal job, but I would go back to my little fortress of solitude, and you know, continue with my drug abuse and try to stay out of any kind of light, any kind of like. I didn't want to represent Hell's Kitchen or chefs or anybody and be in, you know, in sad shape.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of this conversation has to do with right here, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that I'm on this couch talking with you is a pretty amazing fact, you know? And cooking's like the one constant in my life. Through all my addiction, through divorce, through children dying, children being born, I have a beautiful son. Like, cooking is the one thing that's like has kept me grounded and kept me up. You know, like, I go to work, I'm good at what I do, and like, I'm happy. You know, you can have a crappy day, but you go to work and it's like the best time. It's just like any problems I have, I get on the dish hole and just spend an hour and work through my problems. Go back online, start
awesome.
cooking. Yeah, washing dishes is great.
Yeah. So after Tattoo, you were at, I believe, the Standard.
Yeah, definitely. The Standard was an interesting job. Like, I got hired in there with a headhunter. They brought me in with a huge salary. Like, this was like office job. I had a lounge, 2 restaurants, a patio that I was in charge of. I definitely was a little in over my head. This is when I really, this job was really important for me, because this job was a turning point for me. Like, my addiction at this point, you know, this is, the Standard was a time in my life when we started to go through my divorce because of how I lost my job. Actually, losing my job at the Standard kicked off getting divorced. It was just within a couple weeks, and I wasn't able to perform my job at the Standard because I was hiding my drug addiction and leaving my job and, you know, not putting cooking first. And I paid the price for that. I think I quit the day before I was going to get fired. And that was a huge paying job. My life was like structured into Los Angeles, paying like $5,000 a month rent, car payments. Just my life was not what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, you know. And like, I just had my son, and I couldn't be around my son and be addicted. Because again, my drugs are gonna come before my kid. What am I gonna do? Watching my kid and like get sick or like, I mean, what kind of parent would that be? And so, you know, I had to make some tough life decisions, and like, luckily, the path that I was on helped me to like come back to myself as a person and realize that I have a lot to offer as a chef. Like, you know,
of course.
and I need to take that big step. And you know, I told myself I wouldn't call myself a chef until a few years into my sobriety, you know, and that was a few years ago. Now I'm like at the top of my game. I haven't.
So you've been sober for 5 years?
5.5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, 6 years in June 13th.
Congrats to that. That's awesome.
And I preface that by saying I'm not sober. I don't practice Narcotic Anonymous or abstinence. I don't touch any kind of medication that I was on, anything, and I stay away from that. And you know, just in full disclosure, just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's awesome. So, I kind of want to get into how Hell's Kitchen runs. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, the
So
behind the scenes.
give us the behind the scenes, give us the inner workings, what everyone really wants to know about Hell's Kitchen.
I know, right? Like Hell's, you know, I can't speak for the other seasons. I just can't. I don't know how the production's changed over time, but I can tell you from my season, they stayed pretty true to the timeline of when things were filmed and the orders things were done. You know, I think that the contestants did a great job of either tripping themselves up or sabotaging other people or making great drama. You know, I don't think there had to be too much going on behind the scenes. So I think what we get is a great representation. Gordon Ramsay is like when you're around him, you're just filled with so much happiness. Like you guys have a perspective of seeing him on TV in the kitchen, right?
Yep.
Where he is just like, but you get him out of the kitchen and he's just like a little kid with ADD. He has the biggest smile. He shakes your hand and it hurts. You know, like he's just like, he's so jovial and he's huge. Like I don't know if people realize that, but he's a big guy. He was a professional athlete when he was younger. You know, he played soccer and he's just a very intimidating guy. And like one of his qualities that I love the most is I would love to be able to speak the rapid fire French that he does with JP, man. Like when he would talk to the maitre d' in French, it was so cool. Like
he does know a couple languages.
yeah, you know, he's really smart. He's got a great, you know, he's the real deal as far as chefs go, you know. And he had that reputation. The way he is on Hell's Kitchen, he had that reputation when I lived in London and tried to work for him. Like he's don't mess with Gordon Ramsay, you know. And like everything that the whole experience was amazing. It really was. It's amazing to see how much that goes on behind the scenes. You know how much work they put into it.
And were you filmed constantly throughout Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, it was. So from the time so you were mic'd from the time you woke up to the time you went to bed. They left the mic on you.
Oh, even while you're sleeping?
No, right before you go to sleep,
Okay,
they grab
okay.
the mic. But you know, you're on the patio hanging out. It's late at night. If you're up, the mic's on. If you go to lay down in bed, they'll come grab the mic from you. But on top of that, there's like cameras in the bathrooms. I mean, they weren't like shining into the stalls and into there, but there was no places that were private. There were static cameras everywhere. When you sleep, there's those, you know, infrared cameras in the corner. You know, like, so it took like about a week to get used to Big Brother always watching you. You know? What freaked me out are the two-way mirrors in the kitchen. You can't see them, but I swear I could feel their presence back there. I was like, I know there's somebody watching me right now. I better not mess up. But one thing I was bummed about, we weren't able to bring our knives onto Hell's Kitchen.
Oh no.
Yeah, I can remember spending like a good 2 weeks before we went on, like getting my knife kit all perfect and sharpening all my knives and getting everything ready, and then they gave everybody the same kit. Like we all got like brand new kits. I don't know what they give, but we got a whole like knife kits and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It was interesting.
That's awesome.
It was cool, but I mean, yeah, they're really true. The interviews are great. Like going and doing the confessionals, the questions they ask you and stuff. It's fun, man. Because like something will happen, and all of a sudden they'll call you, Mike, back to the confessional, please. Like, oh, you have to stop what you're doing, and Gordon has to allow you to do that. And sometimes you can see in his eyes, he's like, there are a few times where he's like, they're not going back to the confession, and like, you know, he's working. It was funny.
That's awesome. I know, we always wonder, or at least I always wonder, those confessions where something happens and boom, you get like a comment on it right then.
Yeah,
and
you
there.
have to. You go right then and there, you know.
Oh, you do? It's not after the fact?
No, they do it right then and there.
Wow.
Like, so if it happens, they're like, well, it just happened. You bring in, like, why'd you do that? Or how do you feel that happened to you, you know? It was fun. It was really weird in the beginning, you know. It just was, nobody knew what to expect. I mean, nobody there, you know, it's not like I had seen the first 2 seasons and I knew what I was going to get into, you know. This is like the first season on the first show, and I'm just like, you know, trying to play it as cool as possible. Worked out that way. I mean,
Yep. Michael was pretty calm and collective throughout the first season, and you just always kind of knew that he was going to be the winner.
I felt that way
Yeah.
in my heart the whole time.
Yeah.
I swear. Yeah. Me and Ralph knew it. The first night we sat down, we're just like, we like each other. We're going to do whatever we can to... I remember one of our strategies was we were always going to back each other up. You know, and we were going to do what we can. We selected, if not, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but we were like, okay, we want to carry some people along, like help them out, not make them look good, but incorporate them to our team.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everybody kick ass, and then have them sell as we get on. You know, the only person we the only person we didn't say that about, who deserves so much respect, I think, on my season of Hell's Kitchen now, it's Elsie. Like
Elsie, yeah.
Out of all the people that I worked with, like, I mean, this was a mom who came in and made turkey tacos with paste salsa her first night.
Yeah, I remember
right?
that.
And she's throwing down, like, within 2 weeks, she's back there throwing down on service, you know? Like, she made it as far as she did just based upon her heart, you know, and, like, her willingness to, like, say yes, chef, and do what she has to do. It was awesome, yeah. It was pretty inspirational watching that happen.
Yeah, she seemed ready to go when she was in the Final Four.
Yeah.
She seemed ready to go back to her family.
Oh yeah, no, she was done. Dude, she was so stoked to make it as far as she did. And she, like I said, she did it all on her own, you know. Like, when it came to picking the teams at the end, I was just like, this is the best. Like, I got all the best people that we had to choose from.
Yep.
You know, like, and no offense to the other teammates, but there were people like Chris. That I'm sure as heck not going to choose him because I don't think he's going to be wanting to help me out too much. You know, I kind of threw him under the bus like that.
Yep.
You know, but hey, he was a threat, so you know.
Yeah, you took him out.
It was,
That's awesome.
you know, it's pretty devious, but you know, I felt bad at first, but you know, he wrote his own. You know, he said he was the best and Jimmy was the worst, and it turned out to be the opposite that day.
Yep.
So, go Dirty Bull Jimmy.
Yep, Dirty Bull Jimmy. He was.
I wish I could talk to him. I haven't stayed in contact with anybody on that
man.
season, but like, you know, I would love to like.
Maybe we
hear
can.
from him, yeah.
Maybe we can find him.
Where are you now? Huh.
Yeah, where are you, Jimmy? We're gonna sit down and talk to you too.
Yeah.
So after. So I like the stuff forgetting about Hell's Kitchen. A lot of people don't know. So just to clear something up, I know he already said it, but if you go online, Michael's listed as not winning anything. But that's something we're clearing up here. He actually did win.
Yeah, and the Hell's Kitchen people have been. I mean, they did so much for my life. You know, they took care of me. I would hate for anybody to think that like there was no negativity out of that experience. I mean, I remember. I think the day after I won, I woke up the next morning in a hotel room, so tired, with like a cheeseburger in my hand, wanting to go home that day, and just like it was just at the end of it, I was just. It just took everything out of me. It was like I was so exhausted at the end of it. I know exactly how Elsie felt. You know what I mean? Like I was ready to go back and start this new life. You know?
Yeah.
And like you would think, man, you would think, oh, you won Hell's Kitchen. You have this money. You have all these opportunities, and like you know, that's a big regret of mine. Is I felt like I lost part of my opportunity due to my addiction. You know, and I really want to get that opportunity back. I really want to be able to have a place that like people can come eat my food that are fans of the show.
Yeah.
They can come and taste the food that I'm cooking, not like some restaurant in Vegas that I'm like the executive chef at, or I don't really know what the winners get right now. They're your contracts at a restaurant or anything, but I would really love people to come and like actually taste, you know, because I like to think of myself as I try to at least be an alchemist.
Yeah.
Potions when I'm cooking. Like, I got some magic that I put in there, some like the love from my heart. Like I really think there's some of us chefs are all artists. All artists have the ability to put emotions into what we're creating.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the great paintings. I mean, and cooking to a lot of it is it's a fine art. You know, I mean, my palette are ingredients. You know, my things are texture and flavors and ingredients and salt and butter, but they're just the same as paints that a painter uses. You know, I combined all these ingredients and just like alchemy, I have to heat things up and chemical reactions happen, you know, and I call it alchemy because I'm sure there's some hard science back there, but I don't know how it works. It's magic to me, you know, so it's like I kind of think of it as like I pay attention in Professor Snape's class in potion at Hogwarts, and now I know how to make some sweet food.
Yeah.
You know.
I just had some of his food. It was amazing.
Yeah, we had good fun cooking.
So anything else you'd like to talk about? Let's talk about the drug addiction. How'd you get out of it, and what are the steps that you've taken to manage that so you don't fall back into it?
Well, that's a good statement because you know our profession has a lot of alcoholism and a lot of drug abuse in it. You know, there's a lot of pressure on chefs to work a lot of hours and work hard, and you know, there's a lot of ways out there for us to sort of like try to cheat the system and you know, use drugs and stuff like that. And like the only way that I've ever found to get out of those drugs is just you're just gonna have to get to a point in your life where your life is so horrible and you can't go along any further that you just have to change it. You know, the best thing to do is to reach out for help to your family. My parents and my fiance now are the only reasons why I have any sort of like claim on my sobriety over the last 6 years is because I have such a strong support staff, you know, and everybody's been pushing me like, you know, it's time to like, you know, be the great chef that I am, and like, you know, I'm really trying to launch a whole secret society of chefs. I feel like our profession. We have secrets that are just as important as any secret societies, any Freemasons. I think there's tricks to our trade that are secrets that are essential to making our food amazing, and we need to have a place or a repository to be able to share that with other people, you know. And I really want to have a standardized kitchen across the board. I would love to have chapters of Skull and Cleaver clubs in each town, and you know, each kitchen that's a Skull and Cleaver's kitchen, we try to run all the kitchens the same way. I'd love to have a network where if you're moving into a town, you can move into that chapter of Skull and Cleavers. You know,
I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool little details and aspects I have of it, but you know, it's always been a passion of mine to connect chefs with chefs to solve problems. You know, in the kitchen, like crap, I need this, or what do I substitute for that, or how do I make this on the fly, or I mean, there's so many secrets, so many things. It'd be great to be able to go someplace and like have a secret repository. I mean, because I have so many years. I mean, there's so many people that spend so many years in the kitchen, and it's like a craft or a trade where when you do something so many times, you learn how to do it so efficiently and so amazing. You know, that I would love to be able to have a way to share and to give that way. You know,
I like that.
Keep some sanctity to being a chef, man. You know, keep the robots out of the kitchen.
Yep, that's what we want to do. No robots.
No, all human food here.
All right. I'm just gonna turn this a little bit. Just get a little more comfortable on us. So yeah, I like what we're doing. I like what we're talking about. So Michael's here. We're hanging out together. We want to put him back on the map. Hook them up with some social media stuff, and
yeah, what's up, you guys? You know, passing this on to your friends. You know, I'm gonna be trying to start up a food truck here soon. I'm getting married in October, and you know, I won Hell's Kitchen. I think it's time for me to do my own thing.
Yep.
I don't want any partners. I don't need any investors. You know, I want it to be able to be my own. Like, I want to be able to make my own money, do my own thing. You know, and I don't want a brick and mortar restaurant. I've had enough restaurants. I've been enough partners. I've opened enough restaurants to know that like having a mobile food truck, you know, like I would love to come drive to your house in my mobile food truck, come cook for you. You know, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else we can get the nitty gritty about?
Not that I can think of. Do you have any questions? Or I wish there was a way we could have some people ask us some questions. What they'd like to know about Hell's Kitchen, you know? Like what, you know? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, you know? It's pretty fun. That's all I gotta say.
All right. So we'll just stop this right now. And all right, guys. This is going to be up soon. I hope when you see it, you like and you share it.
Yeah, please do.
And I'm going to put information on Michael so you guys can get in contact with him. Ask him whatever you want.
Yeah, anything you want. And especially, man, if there's anything that I could talk to you about with any sort of addiction. You know, if you're a chef, you got problems with opiates, talk to me. I've had some serious battles. I've gotten to where I am, and I you know, if I could give any support or lend any advice, or just, you know, even be there for you to, you know, to hear your problems, please let me know, man. I'm all about giving back to that. Because my sobriety, actually, getting off the drugs is what's turning me into such a great chef, for sure. You have a clear mind, man. You make great food. You have a cloudy mind, you just burn your pizzas.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff together, and we're hoping to get them back on the map, and we want you guys to stay tuned. Share this with your friends. I'm going to leave some contact information for Michael, and if you want to get in contact with him, you can easily just message me as well, and I'll send stuff his way. So, all right, guys.
Private parties, catering.
Private parties, caterings. If you're a celebrity, you want them at your house cooking, we can get them there. So... Anything you want to speak to that, or is that covered?
No, in my contact information, if you want to do any kind of party, cooking event, cooking demos, lessons. What else do I like to do? I like to just show up to your house and cook you dinner with whatever the heck you have in your whatever you have in your house too, man. I'm not scared. You know, ask him.
He just did today. It was awesome.
Show up on your doorstep too, okay?
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.